Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Breathe Break. I'm Leah Lund. I'm the creator of One Whole Health. And at One Whole Health, we help women change their brains so they can stop overwhelm and anxiety and self-doubt and self-sabotage so you can feel more alive and live out a fulfilling purpose in your life. And one technique that is helpful for the brain and literally helps grow your brain is every 90 minutes to take a 10-minute breathe break where you shift your attention and your focus, you connect with your body again, take deep breaths, and literally give your brain a little rest and recovery before you go back at concentrating and doing everything that you're going to do for the day. It's no different than a muscle that actually develops during recovery time. The brain is the same way. So we do this practice together here in the Supercharge Your Brain group every Monday at 11 o'clock Pacific. And I'm happy to have you joining today. I'm really excited today's Breathe Break because, as you can see, my scenery has changed and I am getting back to the mountains. So I am currently en route to Colorado, but we're in Flagstaff, Arizona, near the Grand Canyon, and just smelling the beautiful pine and fir trees in the area. It's just a beautiful, refreshing breathe break for me today, not to mention the vitamin D from the sunshine. So I hope you make this a practice. I hope you make this a practice every 90 minutes during your day of taking 10 minutes that you breathe. And if you can get outside to do it, even better. So what I want to share today is neuroscience has proven for some time now. There was a time where we thought the brain was just a stagnant organ. It wouldn't change, and you were losing brain cells as you aged, and you'd lose more and more of them as you aged, and eventually it would lead to memory loss and maybe even dementia. We didn't understand, but we do now understand that the brain is a very fluid, changing set of organs, and if it really has over 150 different parts that could be considered a system of their own, and it can change. It changes, as a matter of fact, all the time. As a matter of fact, everything that you do, everything that you eat, and everything that you think is changing your brain right now, in the moment. And so today I'm coming to you to share 3 different ways that you can literally grow your brain, grow new neurons and new connections, and grow and light up different and exercise really different areas of the brain than you might have been using. So if you're feeling stuck or you feel like things can't change for you, you're just the way you are and it's always going to be that way, nothing can be further from the truth, because everything that you think and eat and do shifts your brain. Who you hang around, what the sights and sounds are around you changes your brain. So your brain is changing even from watching me sit in this gorgeous environment. So here are some things that help you grow your brain even as you age. And we're showing now that you can reverse the brain age by active participation in brain health strategies, in exercises, in nutrition, in breathe breaks. And today what I want to talk about is newness. How to expose your brain to newness that will help it grow and continue to function, and function in areas of your brain that maybe have become stagnant for some time. And so the first strategy is I want you today to learn something new. And it doesn't have to be hard. You don't have to think that, oh, I have to study hours and hours and read this big huge 1,000-page book to learn something new. You can learn something new, and any new thing that you learn counts. So find any opportunity you can to clear your mind and be present with what's around you and learn something new. I'm going to share an example that came up for me over this weekend that will sound really random, but this is what I mean by learning something new. I was at a restaurant in another part. I was in more of southern Arizona on Saturday, and we went to a restaurant, and everything that they made was organic, including their salad dressings, and they made their salad dressings with olive oil. So it was a great opportunity for me to have Thousand Island salad dressing, because I love the taste of Thousand Island, and it reminds me of my mom. She likes Thousand Island, and I ate it as a child, but I avoid it a lot now because of the vegetable oils that most processed salad dressings are made with that have the high omega-6 content, which in excess to omega-3s blocks our omega-3 receptor sites. So I usually avoid, long way of saying, I usually avoid any processed salad dressings now and go for oil and vinegar. But this particular restaurant made the salad dressing with olive oil, and they made it homemade, so I got to order Thousand Island. Well, I had this incredible opportunity to learn from our server because he asked, well, do you know how Thousand Island was invented? And I said, I have no idea. And he said, well, he started in the Thousand Islands. And I said, well, where's that? I'm sorry, I don't know. And learned that's at the about at the boundary or the border of the U.S. and Canada on the east side near the St. Lawrence Seaway. And apparently that's where Thousand Island dressing originated. I'm sharing this with you today for a really specific reason, as an example of how simple it is to learn something new in your day and how you can solidify it in your brain by teaching it to someone. So I'm teaching it to you right now. Okay, what's the significance? The wind's picking up a little, so I'm going to hold my mic steady. What's the significance of Thousand Island to any of us? Not much, right? It's not my life's work, probably is not yours. This is just a discipline. This is simply an act of exercising a muscle, of learning something new that I didn't know before. So it doesn't have to be this big significant thing I've always wanted to learn my whole life. It can be something as simple as, where did Thousand Island salad dressing originate? And now as I teach it to you, I am strengthening the memory and that area of my brain as I learn it. So, hey, thanks for the love there. I didn't see who that was. So he went on to teach me that not only did Thousand Island originate in the Thousand Islands, but the founder of the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York. I don't know if you've ever stayed there. I stayed there once with 3 roommates, and it was like a small apartment, our suite. I mean, literally, I couldn't even find the other 3 people in our hotel suite. It was amazing. And I don't know if he meant the Astors, or there's an architect that actually designed the Waldorf Astoria, Henry Hardenberg. I looked that up after this conversation. So learning from the server about Thousand Island led to learning a little bit more. Anyway, one of them came up with, or went to the Thousand Islands, experienced Thousand Island salad dressing, liked it, brought it back to the Waldorf Astoria, where it gained popularity. And then it's rumored that some Hollywood starlet enjoyed the Thousand Island at the Waldorf Astoria and brought it out to Hollywood, and that's how it went nationwide. So that's as simple as learning something could be. I could have, hi Deanna, yes, coaching, exactly. We learn from our clients and then we turn around and we teach, and we learn as resources and we turn around and teach. All of this, great example, Deanna, all of this grows our brain. All of this grows our brain and helps our brain become more nimble, more exercised, and using various areas of it and forming new neural pathways instead of staying in the same neural pathways doing the same things that we always do. So learning new information is one way to grow your brain, even as you're aging. The next suggestion I'm going to make is that you do something new. So think about something that you do routinely every single day and just do it a different way. It could be driving home a different direction. It could be shopping, going grocery shopping at a different store where you have to think about where things are because they're not automatically where you usually go to find things. It could be going to a new yoga class, a different instructor, a different gym, but something that is new and really forces you to think again about what you're doing instead of operating in a routine autopilot, subconscious, unconscious way. So my lifestyle, some of you may know, is really set up this way because my husband and I are total nomads. And what I mean by that is we have a very strong belief that life is too short to live in one place. So even though we have this gorgeous ranch in Colorado that I have not been to since October, and we're headed there right now, we take our RV and we spend winters sometimes in that, sometimes in Southern California like we did this year. Sometimes we go overseas and we're in a homestay or a B&B or an Airbnb or something for the winter months, we're looking at having a second residency somewhere outside of the U.S. But the point is, we travel all the time. And I love when I get asked the question when I'm talking, maybe sharing what I do, and then I'll say where I am. And people will ask, do you travel for work? And my answer is no, I travel because I want to, and then I bring work with me. And this is the beauty of freedom lifestyle. And how that's really good for our brain is that anytime we put ourselves in a new situation or do things a different way, and it doesn't have to be RVing across the country, it can be going to a different grocery store, you have to think harder again. You have to pay more attention, be more present, and this helps to grow the brain, both grow new neurons, new cells, but also new connections or new neural pathways. And learning a new language is the same way. Traveling to foreign countries is incredible because you have to think about everything. You have to think about the money. You can't just autopilot, pull out some cash and pay for it. You have to do the calculations and figure out the exchange rate. Speaking the foreign language, reading signs in depth when you're in foreign countries because they're not in your language, like looking for the image or the graphic that you recognize. All of these are really great examples of doing something new. And don't wait for a trip to apply what you're learning here today. Today, do something new. It doesn't really matter what it is. It could be Deanna put up that her stepmom uses her left hand to do things like brush her teeth. Exactly. I once met a neurologist or a neuroscientist, actually she was, that said when you want to get rid of memory, lay down in your bed with your head toward the foot of the bed instead of the top of the bed. So shifting things up and doing something very different. And I'll tell you, this lesson has even more meaning for me today. Over the weekend as well, we spent some time with friends of ours, a couple that we see only when we're passing through this way. So every couple of years that we see them. And they've just had a series of illnesses and deaths and trauma in their life in the past 3 years. It's really been a very, very difficult 3 years. And my friend Sue, as I was talking to her, and just empathizing with everything that she'd been through, she said the most profound thing. And she said, what it's made us realize is that life is short and I want to die with more memories than plans. And I thought that was incredible that she said that. She wants to die with more memories than plans for doing things. An example of that is that they've just decided they're going to go live on the Big Island in Hawaii for a year. So all of these are examples of newness. And of course, when you make it something big like that, like travel and living somewhere new and taking up a new hobby that you routinely practice, the benefit to your brain and really to your mind as well and your happiness, it just multiplies, exponentially multiplies. But I want to bring it back to, it doesn't have to be something that big, just doing something new. Putting your left shoe on before your right, if you always put your right shoe on first. Any little different transition in your routine will help your brain. So try that out today. And then the last suggestion that I have about growing your brain, even as you're aging, that has to do with exposing your brain to newness is centered on curiosity. Learn to be really, really curious, especially when you're speaking with people. Get curious and ask questions that you wouldn't have asked in the past, and really try to find out something that they probably don't share in surface level conversation. It might be what their dream is. It might be what are they waiting on that they're, can't wait for it to happen in life, but maybe they're waiting for retirement or till the kids are grown or something like that to experience it. By the way, encourage them that they don't have to wait. They can do both at the same time. But just having the conversation, if they have on beautiful jewelry that you enjoy, asking, not only complimenting them, but asking a question, asking where they got it, asking what it means to them. Any series of questions, taking that moment, whether it's with, again, a server at a restaurant or a cashier in a store or somebody, the Uber driver, or somebody that you are passing on the street or that works in your building, but you never actually stop and talk with them. Bring real active listening or curious listening listening into the conversation. That's another way of learning, which means it's another way of growing your brain. So those are 3 really easy things that you can do today and every day to start growing your brain. And I hope that you'll share here. I invite you to share in the group what you try and what your experience with that is, because this is the key to vibrancy. And we all want vibrant health and we want vibrant life. And the brain is the foundation to all of this. When you train your brain, the brain is involved in sending the messages to every other part of your body. So it's really impossible for your body to feel good and be fit and have energy without your brain feeling good and being fit and having energy. And it is about the energy and not just stamina to get a lot done, but the energy, the lightness, the buoyancy that you can feel when you do harness this incredible power of your brain. So I hope that was helpful. Please share what you loved about this. And if you know somebody that could use a little pick-me-up today, share this video with them as well. And thank you for joining us on our Breathe Break. I'll see you right here, same time next Monday in Supercharge Your Brain. Thanks, everybody.